NFL Week 11 is over. It's officially time to cook. What's going on, BLV and football fans? It's Mitch here on my NFL Weekly Review Show. This time for Week 11 of the 2023 NFL season. This is the show where I react, I rant, I review, and I recap the latest week in the NFL. And I have a lot to say about Week 11. So let's waste no more time. Grunt spike the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Fresh off of the most promoted, anticipated, and hyped game of this season, the Eagles and the Chiefs. Let's talk Week 11, and let's begin with Monday Night Football. Sock. What was that? Oh my goodness. That was one of the most absolutely atrocious performances I have seen in the second half of a big game that the world is watching. The world. Not just Kansas City, not just Philadelphia. The world was watching that performance by the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half. And they absolutely shit themselves on live television. They were up 17-7 going into halftime. The Eagles could not get a first down for a good portion of the third quarter. The Chiefs had the ball 17-14. Inside the 10-yard line, and the supposed greatest tight end ever, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, fumbles the football. The great trainer of Rocky Balboa once said, "Woman, weaken legs." I think that also comes into play when you're talking about Travis Kelce, because, I don't know, man. Taylor Swift, weakening Travis Kelce. I'm just telling you. Fumble, drop-itis, got owned by Kevin Byard all night long. All night. The Chiefs' defense played their hearts out. They really did. Guys, I'm not looking at stats. I'm not looking at the box score. I can barely remember the final score of this game. I'm going straight off the noggin, straight from the heart. I bet on the Chiefs tonight. They were actually a best bet. I was a little intimidated by the point spread, so I took them just to basically win the game. They were up 17-7. They lost. They made numerous mistakes, and they really showed the world how fucking awful the offense is. That offense is a piece of donkey crap. And it begins with Patrick Mahomes. Oh, I don't want to hear, Mitch, his receiver drops the ball. The receiver, he sucks. He doesn't have any receivers. Mitch, what are you talking about? The guy still has Travis Kelce. As much as his legs are weak, he's supposedly the greatest tight end ever. That's what I've been told. It's better than Gronk. That's what I've been told. It's better than Gronk. Every podcast I listen to nowadays calls Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback they've ever seen. Patrick Mahomes didn't score a point in the second half. Greatest quarterback? Didn't score a point? Didn't Sam Howell throw for like 700 yards against this same team that Mahomes just played at home on Monday Night Football? Didn't Sam Howell put up like 28 plus points in both outings? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. He put up a ton of points. He put up points in the second half. He didn't get donutted. Sam Howell, who just lost to Danny DeVito, put up 300-yard games against the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes couldn't put up. Did he even have 200 yards? I don't know. And people want to talk about drops. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes dropped that interception right into Kevin Byard's lap in the end zone. I remember that. Yeah, I know people forget about that one. How about the numerous plays where he's running around in circles and throws the ball at the dirt or throws the ball away or misses his receiver open? Does the guy ever just drop back behind his amazing offensive line and just throw the ball? I mean, every single play in the fourth quarter, the guy's running around in circles. Bro, relax. Fucking relax. RELAX, relax. You're supposed to be the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. Even though my eyes are checked, I think we should go to Pearl Vision Center because, free vision checks for everybody. I don't know how this guy's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen when he can't produce the entire year on offense without the greatest receiver I've ever seen or Eric Bieniemy. He has Andy Reid. He has apparently the greatest tight end ever. He has a great offensive line. That should be enough. I once saw Tom Brady nearly take Riche Caldwell as his number one receiver to the Super Bowl. He only lost 38-34 in the AFC Championship to Peyton Manning on the road. Not to some fugazi Philadelphia team at home in a little bit of sprinkle and rain. 0 points in the second half? They've scored 13 points in the second half since week 3. Or in the fourth quarter, I think. Since week 3. That is so bad. That is astronomically bad. If anyone thinks the Chiefs have a good offense, please get your fucking eyes checked. They suck. They blow. They're terrible. I'm done. This is the game that showed us their offense is officially terrible. It is really bad. Like, I'm talking That's terrible. Like, it's that bad. The defense is really good. This is a top 3 defense in the NFL. They proved that again today. Incredible performance by Spagnuolo's unit. The blitzes at the right time. Interceptions, strip sacks, L'Jarius Sneed. Unreal game against A.J. Brown. Playing man coverage. Trent McDuffie, unbelievable game. They arguably have 2 all-pro corners, not 1 but 2. Justin Reed, great game. The linebackers, great game. Chris Jones, unbelievable game. Chris Jones was unbelievable. The Big Red Machine, Kane, it's gotta be Kane. He ran over Jason Kelsey. He ran over Mailata, who had to hold him throughout the game. He dummied Lane Johnson on his first sack. Chris Jones couldn't be stopped. So apparently Mahomes, he's never had a defense, although all of his defenses he's won with have been top 10. But that's besides the point, because Chiefs fans don't want to tell you that. But when he has his best defense ever, and he doesn't have the greatest receiving core ever, just like Tom Brady, he can't beat the Eagles. Give me a break. He can't even score a point in the second half. It's not even about beating the Eagles. It's about not even scoring a fucking point. Okay, I understand Marquise Valdez-Scantling dropped the ball. Bro, how many drives and how many plays did you have? You can't just say one play is the reason we lost this game. Maybe wake up on the rest of the game and do something for the rest of the game. Like, seriously, we're just going to blame one play? Yeah, dude, that wasn't a good play by MVS. He should have caught that. That should have been a touchdown. You're going to say one play? You got the greatest tight end and the greatest quarterback according to all these people, all these phony, fugazi fucks, and they're saying these guys are the greatest you've ever seen. Get the fuck out of here. I am done. Get the fuck out of here. Do not talk to me. Why are you talking about the NFL? Stop. Stop. I'm done. Can't. You lose Tyreek Hill. You lose Eric Bieniemy. You lose offense, apparently. You lose an entire offense. Because this offense stunk. And I am a aficionado on stinky offenses because I am a Patriots fan of the 2023 New England Patriots. And I know what stinky offense looks like, brother. And this one is stinky. They can't run the ball with consistency, although that was the engine of the offense. I think at halftime they had more rushes than passes, and that was their most successful offense. Once the Eagles figured out to stop the fucking run, they couldn't do shit. Because Mahomes getting carried by his defense in his run game all night long. All night long. And the Chiefs are not, they're terrible. If the Chiefs, somehow the Chiefs' defense is going to win them games in the playoffs. We know this, right? Their defense is going to carry them to victories in the playoffs. Their offense ain't going to do shit. And then they're going to get steamrolled by the Ravens. That's what's going to happen. As for the Philadelphia Eagles, congratulations on the win. Redemption of the Super Bowl. Not really, because honestly, does this game matter anywhere near the Super Bowl? No, absolutely not. It does not. But Eagles fans have to be asking themselves, what if Sean Desai was our defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl? I think you guys win the Super Bowl because Jonathan Gannon put up one of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen by a defensive coach since Matt Patricia in 2017. Where was Brady's defense on that day? Oh, I don't know. But Matt Patricia, Gannon. But I think Gannon's already surpassed Matt Patricia in wins as a head coach, probably. I don't know. But Gannon stunk. Desai had a real game plan here. He actually didn't just play soft zone the entire game. In the second half, they switched it up. They got in the face. They manned up. They said, Kevin Byard, take Travis Kelce. He's got weak legs anyways. We're going to pressure Patrick Mahomes. And they didn't really even get a lot of pressure. Mahomes just ran into sacks and ran into the pressure all day long. And even though he didn't get sacked a lot, he was just running around all the time. And yeah, Mahomes made a nice throw down the sideline to Watson on, a deep ball on a corner route. He made a couple nice scrambles. That was about it all day. He didn't do anything for the rest of the game. The Eagles did their thing. The Eagles defense, here's the thing. I don't want Eagles fans to get overjoyed about this performance because they're going to see it's the Chiefs at Arrowhead, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes after a bye, all that jazz. This offense you just played fucking sucks. So don't get excited. Your defense, we'll see how they play against Buffalo next week. That is a bigger test. Even though the game is at home, that is a bigger test because they play a real quarterback with a real offense and a real receiver. The Bills have a real offense. The Chiefs don't. So I know you see the logo, you get the stadium, the that dumbass shit. Don't get overjoyed about that. But what you should say is our offense came through when they needed to. They were clutch. Devontae Smith, clutch once again. Baller. Belichick didn't want to draft that guy. The Eagles came through. No Dallas Goedert still came through. Run game not that good. Jalen Hurts came through, man. Jalen Hurts made some bad plays, missed a couple throws. But Jalen Hurts was clutch in this game. He did what he had to do to win. And I would say he got less help from his defense than the other guy did. I would say that. I think Jalen Hurts played pretty well. A.J. Brown did nothing. Chiefs defense was great. Chiefs defense is way better than the Eagles defense. Way better. It's not even close. Kadarius Toney was setting up the Chiefs. Punt return after punt return after punt return. They couldn't do anything with it. It was embarrassing. Embarrassing. That was a horrible performance by the Chiefs. They suck. The Eagles, they're a good team. I think people are going to say they're the best team in the league. I don't personally think that. I think they're in the conversation. But I can't see the Chiefs winning nothing this year with this. Really? What's Mahomes in passing yards? Like 7th? What's Mahomes in touchdowns? Like 10th? This offense blows, bro. They're nowhere near what they used to be. The defense is very good, but they can't. They kept the Eagles in the game the entire game. They couldn't put the game away. They fumbled the ball. Mahomes throws the ball to Kevin Byard in his lap. What are we doing here? So, Eagles fans, you should be happy about the win. Tough, gritty win. Nothing really needs to be said about that. I thought you should have lost, but you found a way to win. More than I can say about the Chiefs, because they suck. I'm moving on to the next game. Sunday Night Football. The Broncos defeat the Vikings 21-20. Broncos are now 5-5 on the season. I believe the Vikings are 6-5. This was another game that felt like the wrong team won, or a game where the Denver Broncos got outplayed for 90% of the game and they found a way to win. And I want to give a ton of credit to Sean Payton, because Sean Payton did his thing in this game. He's been managing Russell Wilson, and there's other talk shows out there that will talk about how Russell Wilson is cooking to fill some sort of agenda. That is not the case. What's really happening here is that Sean Payton is a brilliant coach who's putting Russell Wilson in a situation to succeed. Since their losing streak to begin the year, what does a great coach do? Puts players in a position to succeed and adjusts when it is required. That is the simplest terms of great coaching. Sean Payton saw what the team was early in the year, specifically after that Miami loss. He figured that this team can't win shootouts. This team can't play a fast pace. This team's not going to outscore people. This team doesn't have Drew Brees. It has a rundown old Russell Wilson, who at times can still make plays if he's in the right system with the right play calling. And what I mean by that is a lot of run game, play action, heavy formations, and the odd jump ball to Courtland Sutton. Russ can scramble with his legs to limit turnovers, limit the sacks, throw the ball away, do that sort of thing. And that's the one thing I want to give Russ credit for. He doesn't take as many sacks this year. Feels like he doesn't hold on to the ball as long this year. Feels like he makes more plays with his legs this year. But when you watch the Broncos offense, it's clear it's not a Russell Wilson ran show. It's a Sean Payton savvy play calling show. It's run game, steady run game, pace the game, kill the clock, chew the clock, play through our defense, play field position. Russ, you're going to have to make some plays, but you're not going to be asked to carry this team. Right, like Javonte Williams had 11 carries for 37 tough yards in this game. Not saying that's an impressive number, but I'm saying when you watch the Broncos, every single time Javonte gets the ball, he creates a 2-yard run out of a 0-yard run. He creates a 4-yard run out of a 2-yard run and a 6-yard run out of a 4-yard run. Right? Sean Payton, brilliant adjusting, and he's playing these games to win the game. He's not worrying about how many touchdowns does Russell Wilson have, how many rushing yards does Javonte have, how many targets does Judy have. He's playing to win the game. Whether that's go for it on 4th down, whether that's punt it, whether that's play through our defense, he's figured out a way that best suits his team, a style to win games, and it's working. He is secretly one of the coaches of the year, and I know people don't want to hear that because people think Sean Payton's arrogant. He's stuck up. But this year, since that disastrous start, he has been brilliant and one of the best coaches in the league as of late. And he outcoached late in this game, arguably the coach of the year in Kevin O'Connell, who I thought had a good game. But I did feel like Dobbs was a bit up and down in this game. I felt like he came back down to earth a little bit. You know, O'Connell's call to fake a punt on 4th down up in the game late, that was such a ballsy call, and it paid off. And then the Vikings go down the field. They get in position to add to their lead, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day because the Vikings defense couldn't get the stop. Cortland Sutton mossed the Vikings in the end zone. The Vikings actually had a good rushing day in this one. 7.3 yards per carry for Chandler, 4.5 yards per carry for Madison. The tight ends had a combined 8 catches. Both led the team with 4 each. I was impressed on defense by Cooper and Browning on the edge for the Broncos, Allen and Jones in the inside a lot, and then Simmons making play after play after play on that final drive to get them that win. And Simmons and Surtain really keep together that unit in the secondary, but some of the guys that they've elevated and have signed, like Fabian Moreau, some of these guys, the younger players, have stepped up. Kareem Jackson keeps getting suspended. I don't know what to say about that. But you really look at this game. Minnesota, 9 more minutes of possession. They lose the game. Denver, 12 first downs. Minnesota, 19. They lose the game. 2 for 12 on 3rd down was Denver. They won. That's insane. Denver, nearly 100 less yards in this game. They won. Minnesota, 3 turnovers to 0. That was a huge difference in this game. Huge. The 3 turnovers turned the tide of the game. But what we saw was kind of Sean Payton playing the way and coaching the game, kicking field goals early, taking the points early, understanding how the game was going to be scripted, how the game was going to be played. It was going to be tight. It was going to be close. It was going to be defensive. We just got to be within range in the 4th quarter at the end. Give Russ the ball, 4 downs to get a first down, and we're going to score and we're going to win. That's exactly what happened. And Sean Payton played this game to win the game. He pulled a Mike Tomlin in many ways here. Won the turnover battle. Won the management battle of the game. Not necessarily the play calling battle. Not necessarily the 4th down play calling battle. You know, the sexy performance here was O'Connell. But Sean Payton managed the game as a vet and won this game for his team. So, impressive performance by the Broncos. They continue their win streak. And hey, they're a real team. Are they a playoff team? I don't quite think so, but they're in the running, which is a lot better than we could say about this team last year, which this team's basically the same talent. It's the same team as last year. Just goes to show what coaching can do. And then you talk about the team earlier this year. That was a disaster. People were wondering if Sean Payton was the right hire, if he should have been fired. Absolutely not. He's proving those people absolutely wrong. Next, the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Before I get to Buffalo and talk about their offense and if they're back and all that stuff, I want to talk about the Jets. Because the Jets offense, I've talked about it before, and people seem to ignore it, seem to not really understand what I'm saying. Maybe they don't believe what I'm saying. I've said for numerous weeks, the Jets offense fucking blows. And it's not because of the quarterback. It's because of the play calling. It's because of the scheme. It's because of the offensive line. It's because of the receivers. And because of the quarterback. It's all of it. This offense is atrocious in so many different ways. You watch this offense. They can't block. In the run game, they called a 1st down run, I don't know how many times in a row, for no gain. Hackett, call a different play. Bro, wake up. Give your quarterback a chance. Like, I honestly watch this offense, and I feel bad for Zach Wilson because I'm like, every single 2nd down, it's 2nd and 10. every single second down, it's 2nd and 10. And then every single pass, it's rather a play action boot or it's a slant flat. Well, what am I supposed to do with that? This is the simplest scheme in the league, the simplest offense with shitty talent. Ty Conklin sucks. Alan Lazard can't catch. He can't run. Dalvin Cook is washed. The only good player on this offense is Garrett Wilson. The offensive line is atrocious. That Mitchell guy at right tackle is terrible. He's worse than Adrian Lowe. I didn't think that was possible. He is so bad. This offensive line can't pick up a stunt. Every 2nd and 3rd down and long, they get blitzed and they get pressured and they get sacked or Zach has to get rid of it. Like, they're so bad, they can't block anyone. Tim Boyle is going to get sacked like 15 times against the Dolphins if he doesn't get rid of the ball immediately. They are so bad on offense, guys. This is not just a quarterback issue. You put Aaron Rodgers on this team, they're not much better. I'm dead serious. They are not much better. This offense is so bad. They can't block. They can't run the ball. Their receivers, you just double Garrett Wilson or put a good corner on Garrett Wilson, and they're screwed. They have nothing. Nothing. Nada. It's so bad. Like, Hackett. You look at Sean Payton with the Broncos. You look at Hackett on the Jets, man. Hackett stinks. Stinks. He's terrible. And this offensive line is so bad. Like, their coaching on offense is atrocious. They do nothing creative. They don't help the offensive line. They don't move the pocket. They don't have any creative motions, screens, like things to help the quarterback out. You watch Cleveland, they've kind of quarterback-proofed their offense. They just run the ball successfully behind a good offensive line. And they screen the ball, and then they get play action going. That's all they do. The Jets, they just run the ball on 1st down right up the fucking middle into the D tackle, Ed Oliver. Best defensive lineman on the Bills probably right now. Run right into Ed Oliver, get stuffed, 2nd and 10. We got drop back pass, slant flat. We rather get sacked or Zach runs around in circles or he throws the ball in the dirt. And then we got 3rd down, all out blitz, he gets sacked and then they punt. Every single time. Like, at a certain point, yeah, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. The 3rd down offense is historically bad. Do you think part of that is on the coach? Do you think part of that is on the system? Like, Robert Saleh is a good defensive coach. And I'm sure he's very good at running the stairs at the stadium. Like, fantastic. Great motivator. Gets the people going. But the guy has no fucking idea what he's doing on offense. Like, the guy has no iota. He is out of his depth here. Like, you wonder why the Jets are so bad on offense? Their head coach has no idea what that side of the ball is doing. He doesn't know. He doesn't know good from bad. He is so out of it. Like, people think he's a good coach. He's a good defensive coordinator. This guy is in the same conversation as Josh McDaniels. He knows one side of the ball. The only thing is he's more likable. I don't really know how, because he's not good with the media. Like, he continuously doesn't give you a straight answer about the quarterback situation. Give us an answer, brother. Like, I guess his team respects him a lot, but like, man, this guy stinks too. Like, the Jets are a pathetic franchise. I can't with the Jets, bro. And then we go over to the Bills. Like, you know what changed about the Buffalo Bills? Absolutely, positively nothing. They just stopped turning the fucking ball over. That's all that happened. It's not that the offensive coordinator all of a sudden got better. They were calling cool plays. Guys, Josh Allen was always fantastic. This is what an MVP looks like. Did you see the rocket to Shakir for like an 80-yard touchdown? Unbelievable. That throw was unbelievable. Josh Allen. You compare Josh Allen's offense to Mahomes right now. You tell me who's better. You tell me. Honestly, Gabe Davis is basically MVS or Rashee Rice. Okay? Shakir, I don't know, some random late round pick, basically Kadarius Toney. Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, let's call that a wash. The run game of the Bills, the run game of the Chiefs. Run game of the Bills right now is playing better, but part of it is because Allen is also a run threat. The offensive line of the Bills is way worse than the Chiefs. You tell me who's better. One has Andy Reid. One has, I don't even know who the play caller is of the Bills. I could give a shit because it's just Josh Allen. It's literally just Josh Allen. Okay? And people want to say this guy's overrated. You know who's overrated? That guy, number 15 in Kansas City. He's overrated. He can't score a single point against the Eagles. I want to see what Josh Allen does with a worse offensive supporting cast. That's what I want to see. 29 touchdowns so far this year. That's 7 more than any other quarterback in the NFL right now. And people were saying last week Josh Allen's overrated. Now they're going to suck him. Watch. I guarantee you, ESPN. Second in PFF grade. Second in PFF grade, Josh Allen. Fourth in completion percentage. Fourth in yards. Fourth in big time throws and big time throw percentage. 10th in turnover-worthy plays, which is less than Lamar Jackson, less than Jalen Hurts, less than Patrick Mahomes, and that was before tonight when Hurts and Mahomes played on Monday Night Football. So you want to say interception this, interception that. He's 10th in turnover-worthy plays. He's top 10. And he has less than all these elite quarterbacks that we talk about. Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar. Even Lamar. So Turtle wanted to know, give me more than one stat, brother. Oh, okay. How about big time throws? How about turnover-worthy plays? How about yards? How about PFF grade? How about completion percentage? Now stack those up against Mahomes, and you tell me. Because I don't see a fair evaluation here. One guy is king shit. The other guy is overrated. One guy has a defense, one guy doesn't. You tell me. You tell me, brother. I don't know. Now, in terms of the Bills' defense, we can take absolutely nothing out of this performance because they played the worst offense. They played worse than the Patriots' offense. Worse than the Giants' offense. The Jets' offense stinks. They're worse than the Chiefs' offense. That's how bad they are. Douglas was unreal. I'll give Rasul Douglas his credit. Unreal. Ed Oliver, great performance. I thought Poyer played well. You know, and I think the Bills' defense is building. They're getting better. I think they're going to get better. I think the Bills are going to surprise some people. I think they had their down spots. I think they're going to play better. I don't know if they're going to necessarily win against the Eagles or the Chiefs. They'll probably beat the Chiefs, to be honest with you, because the Chiefs can't score a point. But the Cowboys, I don't know. That's tough. I think the Bills are still going to make the playoffs because Josh Allen's that dude, and the defense is getting better, right? They were the 32nd unit in the league from week 5 to week 12 or whatever, week 11. They played okay against Denver. They just make a lot of mistakes. That's my problem with McDermott. They make a lot of mistakes. This game, they played really well. We'll see how they play against the Eagles. That is a big test, and that's a tough matchup for their defense. So we'll see how it goes. Next. Oh, my goodness. Bro. How long are we into this show? Because this might take another half hour. Okay. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Please, God, please, I beg of you, we must fire Brandon Staley. I don't know how much longer I can watch his football team. I really ask, please save Justin Herbert's career. Because he's not getting any younger. Those locks are not going to last much longer. The rocket of an arm is not going to rocket much longer. We must save Justin Herbert from the terror, the horrifying coach named Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley, the coach with the 31st defense in yards allowed. Brandon Staley with the 32nd defense in first downs allowed. Brandon Staley with the 30th pass defense in the NFL. Known as a defensive guru, there is no "ru" in the guru. Brandon Staley, after the game, says that it wasn't the defense's fault. Allowing Jordan Love to throw for 300 yards for the first time in his 2023 NFL campaign. Jordan Love threw for 300 yards against the LA Chargers. Jordan Love threw for 300 yards. Aaron Jones got hurt. Jordan Love threw for 300 yards against the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers allowed 50% on third down against the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers offense sucks. They are very bad. Their receiving core is in shambles. They're all young. The offensive line is not great. The quarterback can barely throw the football. He has the lowest expected completion percentage in the NFL this year, Jordan Love. I'll say it for a final time. Jordan Love threw for 300 yards versus Brandon Staley's defense. Brandon Staley, a head coach that says, as the defensive play caller, he will keep calling the plays. Defensive guru, 32nd in first downs allowed. Allowed Tyreek Hill to nearly have 300 yards in a game. One of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen. He actually allowed 30 points to the Kansas City Chiefs, which looking at it now is maybe one of the worst performances of any defense in the NFL this year. Brandon Staley can't take responsibility for his unit, his defense. He can't point out that he has not stepped to the table. He has not performed well enough as a defensive coach. He is not coaching it well enough. The details are not coached well enough. Asante Samuel, pass interference, penalty on 3rd and 20. The details are not coached well enough. I can't even blame Kellen Moore. I don't think Kellen Moore is honestly as good as people give him credit for. But what do the Chargers have on offense? Austin Eckler, I'm sorry, Chargers fans. That guy is washed. I mean, he's slipping and sliding like a freaking slip and slide all over the place. Fumbling the rock. Keenan Allen dropping a big pass. Quentin Johnston, he sucks. He's a bust. Drops the ball. How do you pick Quentin Johnston above Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison and Tank Dell? It's a comically bad defense. For how long? How long has this defense failed to stop the run at a consistent rate? How long has this defense gotten less out of great talents? Less. Derwin James looks bad. Joey Bosa, always injured. Khalil Mack, actually the only one playing well. comically bad. 5 losses by 3 or fewer points. This man, Brandon Staley, lacks composure. He lacks testicles. He lacks manliness. The guy is feminine. I'm calling out your manhood, Brandon Staley. You suck. Rex Ryan is right. You're a Division III football coach. You are so bad. You have, in his words, a Hall of Fame quarterback talent. You can't beat Jordan Love, who threw for 300 yards. It's honestly laughable. I mean, I have a stat here on my phone. I was sent this today, and I have to read this out because this is honestly unbelievable. The Chargers' last 12 games, lose by 3, lose by 1 in the playoffs. Dramatic comeback that you allowed, your defense. Lose by 2, lose by 3 in overtime, beat Kirk Cousins, beat Aiden O'Connell, lose by 3, lose by 14, beat Tyson Bagent, beat Zach Wilson, lose by 3, lose by 3. How bad are you going to get in close games? This coach is so bad. I've said it time and time again. The man is a disaster. He's the worst coach in the NFL. He should have been fired a long time ago. Can we fire him yet? Please. Next. Oh, and then there's this guy. The riverboat has sunk. It will not be found. In fact, the riverboat has not been found since 2015. Because if I'm not mistaken, Ron Rivera has 3 winning seasons in 9 years as a head coach in the NFL. 3. And the last time was 2015 with the most valuable player in the NFL. Ron Rivera has been a head coach since 2015. Throughout that entire time, he has not had a winning season. And he just lost to Danny fucking DeVito. Are you kidding me? Not only did he lose to Danny DeVito, he lost to Danny DeVito, who I don't even know if that name is his actual name or if it's a meme. I don't even know if he was actually named after a character on Sopranos. I don't know if the man is straight from Goodfellas. Like, I honestly don't know. Danny DeVito, who lives with his mom and doesn't make his bed, who, as an NFL player, just beat Ron Rivera. Not only did he lose to Danny DeVito, he had 9 fucking sacks on Danny DeVito, and he still found a way to lose. How is that even possible, sir? And then your football team, all you gotta do is not turn it over. You're playing Danny DeVito. You turn it over not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, 6 times. You're playing Danny DeVito. The first 3rd and 10, Danny DeVito scrambles out of the pocket and finds Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley went off. Multiple touchdowns. Didn't stop him, didn't care to. Guys, they had 7 sacks. I'm going to read this. I'm not kidding you. They had 8 sacks with 13:54 left in the third quarter. That means they had 8 sacks on Danny DeVito. With an entire half left in the game. They had 8 sacks. The team had 28 first downs, and they lost. Like, how bad of a coach are you? You have 3 winning seasons in 9 years, and it's thanks to Superman. The quarterback you had was literally named Superman. He took the Auburn Tigers with literally milkmen and mailmen to a national championship. That is your entire claim to fame, sir, is Cam Newton. That is your entire claim to fame. You fucking suck. You need to be fired. Your buddy Jack Del Rio is just as bad. Give this team to Eric Bieniemy, man. Like, what are you doing? You lost to... My Patriots play Danny DeVito next week. I fully expect to lose. I hope. Danny DeVito, bro. You can always count on Ron Rivera to help you out in the draft position. Thank you, Ron Rivera. Let's move on to the next one. We've got to talk about, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback in professional sports. His name is Tua. Why is he the greatest quarterback? He put up 20 points against the Las Vegas Raiders at home. So, congratulations. The Las Vegas Raiders. They played hard. Played their hearts out. I actually felt like this was a closer game than a lot of people are indicating. Like, a lot of people are talking about this game and they're looking at the box score. I feel like they're looking at the box score and they're not really watching what happened in the game. Yeah, Miami had 422 yards. They only scored 21 points. Yeah, there was 3 turnovers by Miami. This game was close, like, until the end. This game was close throughout, and it was close until the end. This was never any separation. You know, you look at it, Tua and the Dolphins went 3 for 11 on third down in this game. And 0 for 1 on fourth down. So they went 3 for 12 on third or fourth down in this game. That's not good, especially against the Raiders, who don't have one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. So I understand, a lot of yards, empty yards, and a lot of first downs. But, I mean, did you see Tua on that fumble? One of the worst, most uncoordinated. This is why Tua is so unwatchable, man. His fumble, the guy has no presence. He's so clumsy. He's running around, gets stripped of the ball, bro. Like, my goodness, the guy is unwatchable. Clumsy ass. Fumbles the football. And then, of course, later in the game, what happens? Miami, they score some touchdowns because of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill runs a route only Tyreek Hill can run in 1.4 seconds. Runs a lightning fast post route. Breaks past 7 people for a long touchdown. And everyone says, oh, what a throw by Tua. You see the window he hit? Yeah, okay. So there was that. Aiden O'Connell had 3 picks in the game. 1 of them sealed it. 2 of them were by Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey played great. I thought Xavier Howard played a good game. I thought the defense for the Dolphins impressed me again. I felt like their pass rush in key moments got to Aiden O'Connell. They made Aiden O'Connell look like Aiden O'Connell. And while the Raiders moved the ball in moments in the fourth quarter, you know, to get into position to potentially get a touchdown, they never really got close enough. Like, I felt like the Raiders were able to move the ball from like their 20 to the Dolphins' 40-yard line, and then they got stuffed every time. It was like 3 times in a row. And eventually, the Dolphins would make a play on defense. Their run defense, the number 1 priority in this game was to stop Josh Jacobs, and that's exactly what they did. Credit them for that. I want to say Malcolm Kuntz of the Raiders. He is definitely their second best pass rusher on their team, and that's been evident for a while, but I noticed that in this game especially. I will say that O'Connell still shows me moments of things that I like. Like, I like his arm strength. I like his stature, his size. I like him off of play action. There's things I like. Like, he rips a nice throw to Renfro on a third down. He breaks away from the defense. That was cool. Like, he made a really nice deep throw to Devontae Adams for a touchdown. Like, this game was 10-7 Raiders at the end of the first quarter. There's a play, 4th and 1, Miami goes for it, like at the 5-10 yard line of the Raiders in the first half, I want to say. And I knew what the call was going to be before the play happened. That is never a good sign if you're a play caller, especially a guy that is lauded the way that Mike McDaniel is. Everybody talks about Mike McDaniel as the greatest play caller since sliced bread. I knew the play call. It was going to be a screen to Tyreek Hill. I saw him run that play 5 times on 4th down against the Patriots. I think you need to change it up. What was the first tape that the Raiders watched on defense? It was likely the Patriots tape. Why? Because the defensive coordinator of the Raiders is initially from Belichick's tree and the Patriots. So there's a lot of carryover. So obviously they scouted that, and obviously they were prepared for that. So for these people that read the box score and say, well, Miami could have scored there, no, that was never going to work. That was just a bad play call in that moment. You got to think about your opponent. It feels like Miami's offense is just not playing as well. They're not in rhythm as much. Everything feels tighter. Every window is tighter, especially this Raiders team who's well coached on defense. They don't give you anything easy, right? Miami's not running the ball for big chunk gains anymore against everybody. We've seen consistently as of late, Miami's run game has been kind of stifled. We see that their pass game, while effective and they get yards, third down, they're not very good because their offensive line is shaky and Tua can't really make plays outside of the pocket. And if it's not RPO, if it's not play action, if it's not a screen, drop back pass is not good for them. And right now, their run game is not great enough the way it was earlier in the year. Right? This game was tight throughout, 14-13 at half for the Dolphins. And I was shaking because this was one of my bigger bets of the week where I had Miami and San Francisco in a parlay to lead at half and lead at the end of the game. So I was definitely shaking. I was nervous because Miami had turnovers. They missed a field goal in the game. So they just played sloppy football. They weren't effective on third down. The Raiders made plays. And again, back to that point, like Miami's offense just feels harder, tougher, grindier kind of thing where they're having to earn their yards, earn their points more than they were early in the year. Their defense might be playing like the better unit right now, to be honest with you. There was a 4th and 2 at the 34-yard line of the Dolphins, I think, and Aiden O'Connell just threw a bomb with like the game on the line. I don't understand that decision. That was a terrible decision in my opinion. Jake Bailey, the punter of Miami, he absolutely blows. Like, I don't understand how this guy has a job in the NFL. Used to be the Patriots punter. He stinks. I wrote down that Miami is a pretty complete team right now, but something is missing. People saying this should be a blowout. I don't know about all that. I said that as well. 36 seconds left in the game. They get all the way to Miami's 40. O'Connell shoots one to the end zone. Ramsey picks it off. Like, they got to Miami's 28-yard line with 6 minutes left. They go for it on a 4th and 6. They get sacked. They got to Miami's 40. They throw a pick. They got to the 31. O'Connell threw a bomb. I don't understand that play call or that decision. The Raiders, their scheme on offense is very vanilla as well. They could use a lot of work there. And yeah, overall, Patrick Graham, another great performance for the Raiders defense. Raiders offense needs a lot of work. I just don't think they have enough on that side of the ball right now. They don't have enough at quarterback. And the Dolphins are just, they feel weird because their offense was so good early in the year, and they're usually good against lesser teams. And they, for the first time, didn't blow out a lesser team. So that is a little concerning. But their defense is playing really well. So I give them credit for that, but I don't know. They're weird. Like, Tua is mid. I get it. It is what it is. Those are my takeaways. Next up, the Seahawks versus the Rams. This was interesting. I have some takeaways for both sides, mostly the Seahawks. The Seahawks can score touchdowns, especially in the red zone. Like, they just have trouble scoring right now. When they get into the red zone, they call kind of stupid plays. They'll run the ball on first down right up the middle, then they'll throw a toss out wide. They'll take holding calls at the wrong time that will back them up. Like, a lot of the drives early in this game, especially in the first half, Seattle actually scored some points. They got a touchdown early, they got a field goal, and then a field goal. And then I want to say they stalled out at the Rams' 40-yard line like 3 or 4 different times. They got called for holding calls, penalties, illegal formations, false starts, all that stuff. And they just stalled their drives, and they can't seem to get through that fringe field goal territory. And the Seahawks have an issue on offense. Like, they're too kind of simple through their drop-back passing game. Like, even the Rams, who don't have the best defense, are kind of all over their concepts. Like, it has to be a great throw from Geno. It has to be a great route, a great catch by DK, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett, whoever it is. There's not a lot of easy stuff. I continue to say that. I will continue to say that. Zach Charbonnet didn't bring what Kenneth Walker brought. He got injured in this game, so that's concerning for me. But the Seahawks are weird because their defense is playing pretty well overall lately, and they played really well in this game for especially the first half. They dominate aspects of the game, but Seattle is not able to execute in the red zone. They're not able to have a consistent offense, and they're very, very scattered on offense. Like, it feels like there's a big play here, a big play there, but there's 3 and outs, there's penalties. It's just, I don't know. They couldn't really get a rhythm. That being said, they did lose this game because Geno got hurt. Like, honestly, I think Locke had 3 straight drives. They got nothing out of it. They went 3 and out twice. They threw an interception on one of the drives. Like, all the drives Locke was in there, they did absolutely nothing. They didn't take any clock off of the game. They didn't score any points. They only gave the Rams more opportunity to score against, at that point, a tired Seahawks defense. That being said, I thought Stafford made some throws. There was one really impressive throw to Nakua on a crosser in like the third, fourth quarter. That was an extremely nice throw. I thought McVay had a few nice play calls, but I will say about McVay right now, he is not an elite play caller. I would not put him in that category. I think he's a good offensive designer, a good play caller overall. I would not put him in the category of an elite play caller. There was sequences in this game, and especially the way, like, even as a head coach, the way that he managed the end of the game, I thought was a little confusing. Like, he couldn't really pick whether he wanted to try to score a touchdown or whether he was trying to kill the clock. It was kind of like somewhere in between, and it didn't really work out. So just reading through my notes, Rams took over after halftime again, just like the last game. McVay was horrible near the end of the game and got away with it. Geno poorly managed the last drive. Oh, that's something I want to talk about. The Seahawks had a 55-yard field goal, and they missed it, ultimately to lose the game. But the Seahawks messed that up. So this is in combination with the Rams and the Seahawks. Okay, so I want to talk about this. So the objective on a field goal is to make it a makeable field goal and not just a field goal attempt. So a makeable field goal would, for Myers, I would say 50 or below. 55 is tough for any kicker in the NFL to win a game. The main play that I have to criticize the Seahawks for is, I want to say there was, I'm just trying to find it in my notes. They ran the ball up the middle instead of passing the ball. I want to see, I can't find it. Damn it. Yeah, I can't find it, man. But I felt like they could have passed that ball. Instead, they run it up the middle, and they don't make it that much closer. They had like 17 seconds left, I want to say off the top of my head. They decide to run the ball and then spike the ball with like 5 seconds left instead of trying to pass the ball and then get closer and make it a makeable field goal for the win. And I think if they get that, they win the game despite their struggles throughout the game and despite losing Geno. Geno came back in and like a warrior led them down the field and made some nice throws to lead them down the field, which makes me believe that he'll play on Thursday against the Niners. But I feel like the way that the Seahawks offense plays, they're going to be exposed against the Niners defense. I would not be shocked if the Seahawks struggled to score against the Niners defense. The way that the Niners defense plays, they're going to struggle to block them, and they're going to struggle because their scheme is very simple. I just don't see them being able to hold up front and also being able to make consistent passing plays in this game against the Niners. That's something I want to say. But yeah, man, McVay messed up the situation near the end of the game in the last 2 minutes. Okay, I wrote it down here. Let's see. So with 1:52 left, there was a timeout by Seattle. Seattle has 2 timeouts left. There's a 1st and goal for the Rams at the 8-yard line with 1:52 left. Seattle has 2 timeouts. A field goal would take the lead, 17-16. So you could go 3 straight runs in that scenario with 1:52 left. What would happen would be you're likely going to get stopped. 3 straight runs, 1:10 left. You kick the field goal. You're up by 1 point. And there's no timeouts for Geno Smith and the Seahawks. But 1:10 is still enough to drive down the field, in my opinion, for the Seahawks to get a field goal. That's my opinion. 1:10 is plenty. Right? Tom Brady did that in 2001 as a second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf. That's enough time. So, to me, you can do it. Now, what does McVay do? 1st and goal, run up the middle, no gain. So, first of all, 1st and goal, a run there is pretty predictable. You probably could be a little bit more creative, try to score the touchdown. Because I think the touchdown here is valuable. It's not lacking significance here. If you score a touchdown, you win the game. It's over. You win the game. Instead, plays it conservatively at first, gets no gain. 2nd down, they throw a slant. Oddly enough, Matt Ryan questioning the call. Why didn't you run it again if you ran it on 1st down, try to take the clock away? They throw a slant. It's short of the end zone. It's short of the 1st down marker. So they don't really do anything there. They might have gained 4 yards instead of that being an incompletion, which stops the clock. And then 3rd down, they throw a screen, which, kills the clock because it's a completion, but they don't get a 1st down out of it, and they never had a chance to get a 1st down out of it. It's really hard to complete a screen on 3rd and goal at the 8 and get a touchdown. Really hard. Unless you double reverse them and screen it or something like that. So instead of 1:10 with no timeouts, Seattle had 1:34 in 1 timeout. McVay kind of screwed that whole thing up. You rather want to try to go for the touchdown, screw the clock, or you want to be able to just run the ball and see if you can get a 1st down, and if not, kick the field goal and deal with the consequences of playing defense in a defensive game. So going back to what Seattle was able to do, quickly, I see it in my notes now. Geno comes out for the game-winning drive after missing 4 consecutive drives. So he toughs through it. 1:04 left at his own 38. He dumps to Charbonnet, which only gains 2 yards. So this is a point I want to make. That lost 22 seconds, and they gained 2 yards. I don't understand why NFL teams don't prepare for this. I don't understand why quarterbacks don't understand this in the heat of the moment. If you watch a great quarterback in the 2-minute situation, and this is what Brady would always do, you don't want to take a 2-yard gain that's going to be tackled in play. It's useless. You'd rather have an incompletion. You'd rather just throw that ball right at the dirt in front of Charbonnet and live to see another day and have 22 more seconds on the clock. Because 2 yards is not going to do you anything. And you've got to panic. You've got to get the whole offense up. You can't call a timeout. You've got to get them going. You've got to call a play. Instead, you throw an incompletion. You settle. You call a play in the huddle. You come out, right? And then you go. So, just poor management there by Geno. 3rd and 8, he made a great throw to the Rams' 39-yard line. And at the Rams' 39-yard line, they have a 1st down, 24 seconds left, and then they ran the ball. So that it was 24 seconds, not even 17. It was 24, and they only gained 2 to 3 yards. That was a huge mistake. So that lost the Seahawks the game right there. As much as we could talk about, Geno got hurt, all this stuff, That lost them the game at the end of the day. And I just feel like Seattle, they're a fine team. They're competent, but they're missing something on offense. They're missing originality, creativity. Geno's not great enough to make a simple offense look great. The offensive line is limited. The run game is The defense is pretty good, but not great. Like, nothing about this team is excellent. That's my concern about them. The Detroit Lions. How good are they? So the Detroit Lions found a way to come back against the Bears. Congratulations. That's a great comeback win. That is a locker room builder, a culture builder, a confidence builder. But at the end of the day, you watch this Detroit team play and you say, this defense just made Justin Fields look like prime Michael Vick. Like, first drive of the game, they're letting Justin Fields do what? Run. Every designed run. Right? The whole drive was Fields scrambling outside the pocket and making a pass or running. You've got to take that away from the Bears. That's all they have. Justin Fields' legs. So to me, I watch Detroit in this game and I say, that's a defense that is not good. The game plan is not there, or they rather didn't execute the game plan. The run defense got it going in the second half. A little bit better. They made some adjustments. They gave their offense a chance to come back. Jared Goff had a terrible game. He threw 3 interceptions. I will say Jared Goff of past would probably just wither and go home and say we lost this one, but he actually came back and had a strong showing in the fourth quarter and made a number of nice throws. But that's also against the Bears, a really bad defense at home in a dome, perfect conditions. They can't cover St. Brown. Like, there's nice things there. I just look at the Lions and I say, the offense is very run reliant, very play action reliant. If you make them a drop back passing team and pressure Jared Goff, he's going to make mistakes. You're going to get them off the field. And defensively, I say they are not good. The run defense against running backs is fairly decent, but their pass defense is very bad. Their linebackers can be eaten alive. I feel like misdirection can really kill them. Quarterbacks outside the pocket, quarterbacks running. One-on-one matchups on the outside. It's hard for them to play man coverage with the corners they have. They have a lot of injuries that they've suffered in the secondary, and it's really hurt them. So, as much as Brian Branch is playing like a baller, really like what I'm seeing from him, and Aiden Hutchinson, of course, although he hasn't really been as good of late, and I like McNeil. I like some of their players, don't get me wrong. Cam Sutton actually shows promise in the defense, but I felt like the game plan was poor. We had a WTF Goff game for about 3 quarters. They found a way to win, which was nice. But again, it's against the Bears. I'm talking about competing with the Cowboys. This is the level you guys are at. I'm talking about the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners. And I just don't see how this team really can compete with those teams given how the defense is. It's just not good enough. I mean, at the end of the day, 40 minutes of possession for the Bears. Imagine if, so the Bears can possess the ball for 40 minutes. What do you think the Eagles are going to do? If the Bears can possess the ball for 40 minutes, the Eagles are going to possess the ball for 40 minutes, and they have a good defense. I'm just saying, I could get into the nitty-gritty of the game. I took a bunch of notes. But, man. Then my final point is Justin Fields and the Bears. And Bears fans, don't believe that this is the corner that Justin Fields has wrapped around. Like, this should not be the game you hang your hat on and say, we're not going to draft Caleb Williams. We're not going to draft Drake May. Please don't make that mistake. If you do make that mistake, I am going to kill you for it. Justin Fields has nice traits. Strong arm, mobile kid. You like some of his aspects. He's not a great quarterback. He doesn't win games. And in the fourth quarter, he couldn't come through. I think there was a 3rd and 8. They need a first down. He throws a bomb down the left sideline. Terrible decision. Made some nice plays in this game. I'm not going to lie. But a lot of it was also his legs. Like, it's his legs. If the Lions had a proper defense with a proper defensive game plan, Fields looks pretty ordinary. And I guarantee that's what we'll see against the Vikings. This was a good matchup for Fields to look good. don't buy into this. And the other thing about the Bears is, why didn't they at least let Fields, like later in the game, try to win them the game? I think they had they set up a field goal attempt by running the ball in the red zone against the Lions. Instead of taking like a commanding lead and going for the touchdown, they just settled for a field goal. I don't understand not pressing there against a good Lions offense. You've got to put them away when you can, and the Bears don't. So to me, there was coaching issues at the end of the game in their management. A quarterback that showed some good things in this game, played a good game, not taken away from Justin Fields. Just saying, that's not the game that I'm saying, oh, I don't want Caleb Williams. That's not what I'm saying. And to wrap this review up for Week 11, I must say, the AFC is trash. Like, people built up the AFC like it was the greatest conference of all time. They did it last year. They did it again this year. Right? Ray Lewis didn't retire for this. Peyton Manning didn't retire for this. Tom Brady sure as hell didn't retire for this. And Phillip Rivers didn't have another kid to say that this AFC is great. Nah, it's trash, bro. It's terrible. It's garbage. Look at it. Look at it. The Kansas City Chiefs don't have an offense. The Bengals don't have a quarterback. He's done. Mark Andrews injured. The Steelers stink. And they have a winning record. The Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback or an offense. They're a defensive team. The Jags are frauds. The Bills are so inconsistent. The Dolphins have Mr. Mid at quarterback. The AFC is not good. Like, the NFC's top 4 is decisively better than the AFC's top 4. And that was proven by the Eagles beating the Chiefs. Because the Eagles are a well-rounded team, and while they may have smaller flaws, the Chiefs have crippling flaws right now. The AFC is trash. So, the only reasonable conclusion, and I'm saying the only reasonable conclusion, is to say that CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans will win the AFC. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Mitch. Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this NFL Week 11 review, rants, reaction. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. Means a lot. Thank you for watching this whole video if you did. Appreciate it. Let me know in the comments. Comment a Taylor Swift song if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I just want to test that in the comment section. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Mitch. Peace.